Hello everyone, it's Josh here from Stratton Studios, the creator of the one we found, Castle Costume, and the upcoming Costume Kingdom. Today we're going to take a quick look at some of the latest trailers on the PlayStation 4 YouTube channel, so let's dive right into it. Today we're clearly looking at the Marvel Avengers trailer. It's awesome, absolutely amazing. The studio behind this are really doing kind of great work. So there's a lot to break down in this scene, and it's definitely one of those that I could spend 5 hours breaking down. But I'm just going to give a quick overview of a few of the really key elements that really stick out to me. So the first thing and the biggest thing that I love about this scene is the use of particle systems. And I love particle systems because they really bring scenes to life. So we've got kind of like this aura glowing around the base of the, looks like the platform that is standing on, maybe like a teleporter or something like that. The main character here is after kind of up thrusting and throwing characters into the air. And this is something that not a lot of people think about, is the level of physical complexity that goes into creating something like this. Like, on the surface it just seems like, oh, the character gets thrown up into the air and he kind of ragdolls to the ground. But like, if you as a game developer diving into it, the amount of physics-based systems that you actually have to calculate is breathtaking, and it takes a very long time to get to this level of quality. Like, there's so much things that can be going into these systems. Like, for example, they're probably taking account the wind, the weight of the character, the area where the force was applied, and how is that affecting him based on the environment that he's in. And then that all has to animate well together and look good. So I think here, by the looks of it, they're using a dynamic ragdoll system, which takes all the above into account that I just talked about. But there is games that essentially skip all that and just do like a death animation. And that'd be more what we do in our titles, just purely because the amount of systems that you need to have in place to do it well and do it justice. But these guys have done it really well here, so I really love it. Okay, so we're continuing here. We're just seeing some battle scenes, and again, all the things I've been talking about. And look at that morphing on the character. That is one thing that is difficult to do, I will tell you that much now, and they've done it awesome here. Having any type of 3D deformation in real time is really difficult and processor intensive, and it's really hard to get the animations done well when you're doing stuff like this, and there's no kind of tell that it was a difficult thing to implement, and they've done it seamlessly. So that's awesome to see. Moving on here, we've got Hulk and Iron Man, Black Widow, all kicking ass, and they're doing an awesome job with it. So we've got the different armors here, and again, if you look at that armor, that is beautiful. So we're on Thor here now with this lightning. Like, look how the lightning's wrapping around his character. Like, the amount of systems that are going into that, and it looks like, I'm assuming that's some sort of shader work. I wouldn't say that's a dynamic particle system, just purely because it'd be cheaper to do processor wise on a shader. Well, in my opinion anyway. So essentially what that means is the shader's being triggered to create these lighting particles along its surface, and it looks great, it really does. And even the way the light's interacting with it, like, this is obviously a multi-layered shader. So for anyone that doesn't know, a shader is essentially a piece of kind of code that tells the computer how the surface of the object should look. So for example, in this case, it's telling Thor's armor that it should be shiny when light hits it, and that it should reflect a certain amount. And you know, you can have hundreds of values going into a shader, like stuff you wouldn't even think of. For example, like if it's hit by lightning, how many degrees does it offset that light by and then reflect it out? Or does the shader change the surface of the object at all? That can happen through tessellation, which we've talked about before. And so there's hundreds of elements going into that, and this is a great example of shader work done well. And then you've got the hammer. The hammer looks amazing. You've got these kind of different depths to it, and for that all to be rendered within the game engine is crazy if you look at where we've come from. So let's continue to go here. Okay, we can see all the different suits all looking great. There's that deformation again, Hulk looking slick, and then we've got the end screen, and a nice end screen as well. Overall, you know, it's hard for me to critique a trailer such as this, mainly being as I know how hard these guys work, and I know they've sacrificed a lot to make this game possible, so hats off to them, really. Honestly, it's, you know, a lot of people can raise a lot of controversy around games like this, but at the end of the day, they're producing something that has never been done before, and it looks amazing, and it's great to see a kind of Marvel tie-in. I always do like to see them, especially as a PlayStation developer, and it's great. I love it, and I'm looking forward to getting a chance to get my hands on the final game. So thanks very much for watching today, guys. It's always a pleasure to be able to share my knowledge with you, and you know, I want to know what you think of these videos, so please leave them below. I respond to every comment, and I'd love to have a chat with you. I'll talk to you next time.